What's going on, y'all? Welcome to your wellness check-in with me, your host, Fallon Lopez. I'm so excited to be here tonight and share another wonderful topic to inspire you, to motivate you in your wellness journey, because that's what we're here for. Every week, I go live here in the community and I share tips, I share inspiration, I share new insights that are going to help motivate you in this life of giving because we are the givers. We show up for everyone else. We're putting everyone's needs before us as nurses, as moms, as just individuals. It's what we do, it's in our DNA. But I'm here to challenge you. Let's change the narrative. Let's switch things up. It's time to put ourselves first. It's time to put our own health and healing first. And that's what this community is all about. So I welcome you to this wellness check-in. So tonight, talking about the knowing the difference between when to rest and when to take action. So this is really a topic that is about being self-aware, about self-awareness. And it's a journey. It's new levels to it, y'all, because I am learning about self-awareness. I am getting more in tune with what my body needs. And I feel like it's just a journey, a different journey for everyone. But it's such a powerful tool, self-awareness. I've talked about this with the nurse wellness leaders. And we've started that conversation before. It's new levels to it. It's always growing. It's always a journey of growing and improving, especially if you're so used to putting everyone else first, if you're so used to showing up for everyone else. And we live in a generation where we're we're quick to move on and microwave generation. We want instant gratification. So it's hard, to sit quiet and to get still and to listen to what your body wants and what your body needs. So this topic of knowing the difference of when the time it is to rest and when to take action, I think it's super important that we just open it up because I'm learning it. I have struggled with slowing down. Like many of you here in the community, we're the givers. Like I said, we're the career-driven women and even moms. Some of y'all amaze me on here. You have your whole tribe behind you. You're keeping up with them as well as your wellness goals, and you have a job. Like I am inspired by you women. We make things happen. That's what I love about this community. We make moves. You know, especially when you have a clear vision for your life and you know who you want to be and you know the goals that you have. The vision is so clear and real. Every day seems like a step closer to it. So every moment counts. And I get that. When we're busy in hustle mode, going mode, it seems like every moment counts and we want to give it our all. We want to give it our best. But how many of you know that when the mind may be willing, the mind may be wanting to go, but the body is just not able? It happens. Our minds, our expectations can be higher than our actual output. Come on. Listening to our body when it says rest is so key to our health. Sometimes it may feel like you have to be doing something in order to see the results. And it's true, we have to stay committed. We have to stay consistent to see the results we want. If you want that healthy living, if you want those gains, you have to put in the work, but you also have to know when to rest. That's part of health as well. And I don't think we focus on it enough. So that's why I'm opening up this conversation of knowing when to rest and knowing, I need to push. I need to push forward. I need a little kick in the pants to get going. And especially as healthcare folks, we know this. We know rest and recovery is a part of health too. But lots of things happen. Life happens and we don't get the proper rest. And we can blame our lifestyle, the on the go that, prevents us from getting the proper rest, the 8 hours, and not even just sleeping and napping is rest, but really it's this process. It's like this state. It's a powerful state when you're just rested, when like you're not like your mind is not racing, you're not like overthinking, ruminating thoughts. It's a process, it's a mental state as well. It's a powerful state to be in. Not only are we talking about sleeping 8 hours, but also this mental rest. Resting is such a powerful state of being. It also requires trust. It requires trust, faith, and support. And can I share with you? You can rest in knowing God's got this thing even better than you could in your own strength. Knowing that your creator got you, knowing that the one who made you can rest in him. You can know his plans are going to work out for your good and that he has everything planned out and that you don't need to worry about everything. You don't have to be rushing around, forcing and pushing things to happen all the time. You can put your effort in, but you don't have to worry and rush and push and force things to happen. God has the ultimate control and you can rest in him. I know that I practice that on the daily because I am a go-getter. Like I said, many of us here in this community as caregivers, as nurses, we want to make it happen. We have the tools, we have the abilities. God gave us the mind and the abilities. But sometimes we have to rest that we don't have to do it alone. We have to rest in the fact that we're not alone in this journey and we can trust him, that he's revealing everything, that he's showing us where we need to go. He's giving us new faith. He's giving us new clarity every day. So yes, I took it a step further when talking about rest, knowing when to rest and when to push forward. I'm taking it a step further from just sleeping and napping to truly being in a state of rest, a mental state of rest. But there may be others of you that may be on the other end of the spectrum. You may have mastered well off the practice of resting. You're like, sis, I rest all the time. That is not a problem. It's no problem for me to rest. My problem is knowing how to get up and make things happen. I get that. You're like, actually, I rest too much and would even throw out some self-judgment feelings of maybe saying to yourself, like, I'm lazy, I procrastinate. If you notice that maybe you're along those lines, this conversation is for you. These next insights that I'm going to get into, these next tips that I'm going to share with you about knowing the difference between when it's a season of resting or when it's a time to rest and when it's a time to push forward and take action. This conversation is for you because if you've had those moments where you're like, actually, I rest too much and I need to get up. So how do I make this happen? How do you know when it's time to go sit down or when you really need that kick in the pants to get going? Well, here is a quick self-assessment guide because we do assessments on everyone else as the caregivers, as the the healthcare professionals. We are constantly assessing everything, the situation. Is it safe? Is my patients okay? Is my family okay? We're constantly assessing others. But now it's time to turn those assessment skills on ourselves and do that even more diligently. I love it. It's part of being self-aware. This whole conversation is really geared towards how can we be more self-aware? How do we know when to take care of ourselves? So first off, part of my quick self-assessment guide that I'm going to share with you tonight. First off, if you're even thinking of rest, whether or not you should rest, or maybe you should keep going. Maybe, where am I, Fallon? I feel like I'm unsure. If you're thinking about it, you probably need it. Just stop. Just cut it out. Stop. I've been there. If I'm thinking about it, I probably need it. Especially as the givers, as the movers, as the shakers of this community, we are giving so much. Let's be honest. We do a lot already. We know this, but sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credits or just enough grace, especially when it comes to when others are depending on us. I get that. When others are depending on us, there is no time for resting. There is no time for sidelining. There is no time for like, give me a moment. I need a break. So I get that. I totally understand when others are depending on you. But like I said in the beginning, we have to definitely put ourselves first. It's a practice and it's definitely a shift, a mindset shift. So that's why if you're even thinking about it, if you're even pondering the question, sis, you probably need it. It's more likely if you're debating whether or not to rest, it's for you, sis. It's for you. Here is your message for the day. It's for you. It's time to rest. And second, okay, if you're wondering, what I need to do right now in this season, do I need to rest? Do I need to sit down? Or how do I know it's time to push forward? Take inventory of your day. Just start with the day. If you're feeling like that, on a certain day, just take inventory of that day. Be honest of what all you accomplished. Just take a quick inventory, morning, evening, whenever you're doing it. What all have you accomplished? What do you need to accomplish? And we'll talk about that as well. But take an inventory of the day. What have you accomplished? And if you got nothing done for your day, that's okay. What did you do today? If the answer is nothing, well, where is your mental been? Did you work through some tough thoughts, some tough things come up for you in the day? Mental work is work as well. And I think a lot of us get so caught up in just the actual, output, the doing part, that we forget that we're still doing work, especially in this wellness journey and this healing journey of becoming your best self. I know I have had to take an account of like, look, I have been doing some different type of work this time around. And so even though my day may have felt like I didn't actually, do everything on my to-do list, maybe I worked through some things that I had going on, some self-defeating thoughts, some thoughts of like, my cycles that I go into, like, my pity parties. Maybe I was able to work out of those pity parties today and actually just get myself into this better mood. That is work in itself. So if you're looking at your day at the end of the day and you're still like, I have things to do, I need to do something with myself. Take a quick inventory. What did you get done today? Where has your mental been? And including that in how you spent your day. Another note, like I said, it depends on when you take this inventory, whether you do it in the morning or, in the evening or whenever time you take the self-assessment. Another note, if you ever feel like, okay, at the beginning of your day, you're like, I have so much to do, especially on an off day, like when we're at home and we take time off or whatever, and you feel like, okay, I'm exhausted, but I have so much to do. Like, am I making excuses? And then you look at your to-do list and you have so much to get done that you don't do anything at all. I've been there, fighting back and forth, like, okay, I have so much to do. I actually am not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here on the couch. I get that. But if you're still feeling like, okay, something needs to get done with this day, make a quick list of all the things that you need to get done. Yes, write it out, black and white, put it on your phone, whatever you need to, jot it down real quick with what energy you have, and then prioritize what needs to get done like today and what can wait until tomorrow. Maybe get the easier things done first that don't require as much mental work, maybe, and, just throwing some clothes into the wash real quick, loading up the dishwasher, checking in on your mom, those things may not require so much. Wait a minute. Checking in your mom, that might require a little bit more work, but maybe, doing some things that don't really require as much work. If you have a good relationship with your mom, it might be okay. So this may not be for you. Uh, Side note, just prioritizing and then doing the things that you can get done real quick, that don't require as much work. Because the ones with the more mental work, those are always heavier. So try to get the easier things done first and ask for help. If you need to call in the babysitter, if you need to call in your sister, come help me with these kids. If you need to, get some things done, I need help organizing. It's okay to ask for help too. Knowing what you need and what's going to help with your mental space is so important. And sometimes when we prioritize and break things down, they seem less intimidating. I'm doing that. Like literally, I have to make to-do lists every day. And, if the list is too long and you don't have the capacity to do it, it's okay to start tomorrow. You made a list though. That's something. So if you're feeling like, okay, I don't know if I need to get up, what do I need to do? Do your quick assessment, rest, take a break, and then do you a to-do list. Prioritize what needs to get done right away. Or, okay, I'm going to start off fresh tomorrow. If you're not even able to do that and you're still thinking about resting, okay, I need to start tomorrow. But if you're like, okay, I need this kick in the pants, I actually need to get up and do something, prioritize what's very much important. Start on those things that need to get done right now. Maybe do one or two and then keep it moving, go back to resting. So I feel like approaching it from that, standpoint, prioritizing, because we know how to prioritize. It's what we do every day at work. But when it comes to our own needs, it can seem a little bit more overwhelming. I get you, sis. But it's time to use some of those tools for ourselves And that is one way that you can do that. So third, and the final tip for tonight, in this self-assessment that you may be doing if you're deciding whether or not, it's time for rest or, you need to get up and take action. Ask yourself, what is your body really telling you in this moment? What is it that you really need? Getting sensitive to your needs, it takes time, especially if you have been so used to numbing and ignoring your body for so long. I talked about this in the beginning of the podcast. We've done it. That's why we're here. I've done it. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm so passionate about health and wellness, because I realized it was like this light bulb moment. Like, I have the responsibility. My body is my priority. My health, my mental wellness is my priority. And I have the tools. I am capable of doing what's best for me. And sometimes I have to talk to myself that way. And so it's like this light bulb moment that just went off. But it's not like everything was just cherries and blossoms and hearts and rainbows after I realized it. No, I had to do the work. I had to, continue to be self-aware, continue to put in the work to getting sensitive to what my body needs, because for so long I had put myself last. I had put so many others before me, and not in a healthy way, like, oh, I'm so caring, I'm so nice. No, in this way of like, I want others to want me. I was that people pleaser, and a lot of you that are watching that are in healthcare, you may be feeling that way as well. You may be like, how did I become this people pleaser? So getting more self-aware is going to help you know when it's time to take a seat, to take that break, and okay, now it's time for me to push on. It's time for me to take action. Getting sensitive, and it's a daily thing. It's daily work, but it's your responsibility. It's your priority. You deserve it. And it's not just like this overnight thing. So some days, you need to get up and do it. And some seasons, like I said, are sit down seasons, and it's time to pause and get quiet for a reason. And just because you're getting quiet and sitting down does not mean you're not still showing up. Let me just tell you right now, just because you don't feel like you're doing or showing up a certain way does not mean that you cannot still be doing work. And that can look different for everyone at every season. Some days we're game and we want to go in and go walking and hit the gym every day, and we're committed. And then some days we're like, okay, I need rest. I need to fuel up. I need to hydrate. I need to journal a little bit. Just because you're not out here like making these huge moves does not mean that you're not still doing work. It's just knowing and identifying those patterns and those times and those seasons for you. It looks different for everyone. And I think, for me, knowing when it's time to rest is when I can no longer produce. That's one way. I know it's time for me to rest. I can no longer force myself to make something happen. I can no longer put effort. There's no juices, there's no flow in my brain. And it's really hard for me to communicate at that point. Also, you talk to me, you're going to get a yes or a huh or a what. I'm not the chatty Fallon. That's how I know it's time to sit down. It's time to go rest somewhere. That's really what I know. And then some people get to the point you get sick. Your immune system literally goes into overload and is like, sis, you need rest. So your body will make you go sit down and rest. Come on. We know that as healthcare providers, we know that our bodies know. And so it's up to us to continue to get sensitive to what our body needs, to continue to, really get in tune with what our body needs. And it's over time. So when I start feeling those moments of haziness, or my body is okay, I can no longer hold the conversation. I'm feeling very tired. I'm feeling very foggy in the brain. I'm feeling even irritable. Those are seasons when I'm okay, that just may be a season or a day or a time or a few hours. I can't participate in this. I can't push through from this. What my body really needs right now is just for me to rest, to disconnect, to come off my devices, and to just go lay down. Sometimes I just lay down on my bed, literally just shut the door to the world And you moms, you already know that may be a little bit harder. And that's when it comes to like, okay, asking for help. Like, y'all, come get these kids. Who can I call to come get these kids? Where's the babysitter? A husband? Just give me 30 minutes. And Amia shared this on another podcast, Amia Love, and she's a mom and she talks about retreating and practicing it daily. She was like, I retreat in my car. I go to my car, like, coming home from work, driving to work, like I just, get quiet, turn on some worship music, turn on my podcast, talk to myself, retreat in my car, whatever I need to do for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it's just, you get more in the flow, you get more in the rhythm of it the more you practice it. And it becomes easier and easier over time, knowing when, okay, you know what? I'm sitting out this weekend. Like, and you come into this confidence, like we talked about last week. Like, you just come into this confidence of owning, like, it's okay. This is my alone time. And it just takes, getting quiet, really getting intentional with your thoughts and your self-assessments every day. So definitely getting sensitive to your body's needs. It takes a little bit of time. So the way that I started it is just every morning, start by asking yourself a few questions. Just start by talking to yourself. Literally, they say you're crazy only if you answer back. But guess what? I'm answering back. I'm answering back to her. I'm like, so how you feeling, Fallon? I'm actually feeling really good today. Or like, I haven't rested enough today. I didn't get enough sleep, really talking to yourself in this way, speaking to yourself, asking yourself these questions. And that's where the sensitivity comes in. You start getting to know yourself. You got to build a new relationship with yourself because for so long, you have been in this mode of like stuffing down your feelings. Me. Hiding and numbing your feelings. Me again. Using alcohol in relationships to escape your feelings. Me again. For so long. We use other coping mechanisms to escape our thoughts and our feelings. And, so it's hard to, check in. It's hard to just, okay, get back in this flow of like checking in on yourself and really being your best friend again. It starts with you. The love, the health, the healing that you want for everyone else, that you want to give to everyone else, it has to start with you first, sis. And I'm here to remind you on this wellness check-in, it starts with you first. All the effort you put into everyone else, make sure you're returning the same effort and the same energy for your health goals. Like I said, we're rebuilding our new relationship with ourselves. It's like, oh, okay, this is what I really like this, or I don't like that. Like, I thought I was just a purple girl. Like, I thought that was my favorite color, like actually I like rose pink. Like, I'm a rose, like a dirty rose pink. Or something that I'm learning about myself. I thought I was very extroverted, but I'm learning like I like my alone time too. Like, I'm like, wow, I really benefit from recharging alone and solo. That is a powerful thing. So, and it came by just every day getting quiet, asking those questions of myself. How are you doing? How are you feeling this morning? Like, did you get enough sleep? Do you have your healthy meals planned out? What's on your mind this morning? Are you feeling anxious or worried about something? And journaling has helped me so much. It's helped me to reflect, not only reflect on my feelings, but also to reframe them in a new truth. So if I'm feeling unworthy, if I'm feeling small, like I'm feeling like I don't want to talk to my boss today, like I don't want to put those boundaries today. Okay, how can I reframe that? I'm learning, I'm developing, I'm growing. I can do hard things. I think that's been a genuine one that I'm like, I can do hard things. So just reframing those thoughts that can leave you drained. Over time, it'll become like second nature of you knowing when to rest and when to take action. It looks different for everyone. And as you're learning more about how to better care for you and be more intentional about your self-care, you will create your own self-assessments. So over time, it will become like second nature for you to know when to rest and when to take action. As you're learning more about how to better care for yourself and be more intentional about your self-care, You will create your own self assessments. So I give you tips, I give you tricks, I give you insights, but you are the ultimate deciding factor of what really works for you. But it's great that you are investing in yourself and that you're even listening and watching right now, because that just tells me like you want to learn, you want to be more self-aware, you want to get to know this new version, this new healthy, wealthy version of you. You're ready to create that happier life, that less burnt out and less illness and better mental health life. Because when you know what you need and when you need it, you're less likely to run and hide from your problems. And overall, and you're more likely to address and learn and grow from them and become this better version of yourself. And that's our goals here, to be the healthiest, wealthiest, best version of ourselves so that we can be those true nurse wellness leaders, so that we can make that impact that we so passionately wanted. That is why we got into healthcare. We want to be the change we want to see in this world. Being the change we want to see in this world starts with us first. So I hope this conversation helps you better gauge and understand your rest and action cycles. Take heart. Is part of life. And if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you go like, follow, and support this channel for more wellness content for us busybodies to help prevent burnout and show up at your highest. Let me see you glow, friend. I am ready. I'm ready to see it. Yes, friend. As always, I've enjoyed this conversation and I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.